The warm, cuddly animals of the animal kingdom are called mammals. Mammals are frequently the animals with whom people are most familiar. They serve as guards and companions in houses, as well as working animals in the fields, and faces of these animals serve as an inspiration for the stuffed animals that youngsters play on their beds and in their arms. But certain mammals are capable of murder. Most of the roughly 5,000 animals on the planet are smaller than humans. Instead of attacking a human, they would much rather flee and hide. But animals like lions, tigers, bears, and others are notorious for being aggressive and cruel, particularly when provoked or in need of food. Children's literature and fairy tales depict these and other mammals that highlight their propensity for violence. So let's talk about bears. Why are they the most dangerous animal? Watch the video till the end and don't forget to subscribe for more. Here we begin. Most of the time when you think about bears, you picture cuddly, adorable fur balls. But in actuality, bears are incredibly deadly and won't hesitate to attack people or other animals. In fact, encountering a bear will almost certainly be fatal despite their declining population. Unfortunately, bear-on-human attacks are more frequent than ever because of human encroachment into grizzly habitats and climate change. Bears may look awkward, yet they can travel astonishingly quickly, even through thick covers that would substantially restrict a person or a horse. The majority of their hunting, however, is done by smell because their powers of sight and hearing are underdeveloped. All bears, but especially the polar bear, are strong swimmers. Some bears, like black and spectacled bears, are good climbers. Although they are typically quiet and don't use sound to communicate, bears occasionally growl when they're hungry, under threat from humans or other bears, or when vying for a mate. In order to understand why certain bears are so lethal, this video will examine some of the most dangerous bears. Number 5. Grizzly bears. One of the most aggressive and deadly bear species you may come into is the grizzly bear. They often reside in Canada, Alaska, and the western and northern parts of the United States. Because of their enormous size, they may weigh up to 600 pounds and measure 6.5 feet in length. Grizzly bears are particularly hazardous. Additionally, grizzly bears are feared for their strong jaws and formidable claws. As if that weren't enough, why then are grizzly bears so hostile? Simply said, they have trouble climbing trees because of their size and inappropriate claws. As a result, they will fight the adversary directly or stand their ground when threatened. Events and reasons. Grizzly bears typically don't pursue and attack people unless they think they pose a threat. However, they typically only investigate places when food is present. That was one of the key contributing factors to the terrible tragedy in 1967 in Glacier National Park. Nevertheless, assaults by grizzly bears are generally quite infrequent because people tend to stay away from those locations. Number 4. Kamchatka brown bears. A subspecies of brown bears that inhabits Eurasia is the Kamchatka brown bear. The brown fur that gives Kamchatka bears their name gives them a charming, even cuddly appearance. However, these brown bears are anything but adorable, measuring over 8.5 feet in length and weighing up to 1,400 pounds. They are actually the largest and most ferocious bears in all of Europe. But why are bears in Kamchatka so hostile? Simply told, they are fiercely territorial and devoted to their young. The unpredictable nature of brown bears makes it impossible to predict whether they will charge at you or simply stand their ground. Events and reasons. It's important to note that brown bears in Kamchatka generally stay away from people and don't assault them. Because of this, brown bear assaults have been uncommon up until recently. But as people continue to encroach on brown bear habitat, encounters with them are happening more frequently. These bears may occasionally avoid fighting, but they will stop at nothing to defend their home range. However, it gets harder for brown bears to avoid interacting with people as the human population rises under the globe. Additionally, because brown bear fur is highly prized, poachers are always on the lookout for them, driving the bears further away from their natural habitat. Number 3. Sun bears. Southeast Asia is home to the tiny yet extremely aggressive sun bear species. They appear friendly since they often weigh around 150 pounds. However, sun bears are among the most ferocious bear species you might ever come across, so don't be fooled by their cute appearance. Sun bears don't, however, have a desire for human flesh like polar bears do. Instead, they remove insects from cracks and honey from hives with their lengthy tongues. They therefore prefer plants over meat and are omnivores. They should be avoided at all costs since they are still quite harmful. Events and reasons. The unrelenting nature of sun bear attacks makes them even more terrifying. As a result, it becomes very hard to flee once they begin charging at you. For example, a sun bear attack in 2017 that lasted about an hour was only interrupted when a few residents came together and drove the bear away. Sun bears rarely leave their natural environment, but due to deforestation for oil palm plantations, experts predict that they may grow more aggressive and eventually abandon their area in search of food. Therefore, it is realistic to expect sun bear interactions to increase in frequency and severity, resulting in more deaths on both sides. Number 2. Polar bear. Polar bears are equally as brave, ferocious, and aggressive as their brown counterparts. While being the largest land carnivore, they can be found all around the Arctic Circle. Polar bears are, however, relocating further south in search of fresh food sources and a more secure habitat as a result of recent climate change. In terms of appearance, polar bears have white fur with hints of brown every now and then. They are enormous, with a standing height of up to 5 feet when supported by all four legs. But when they spread out, polar bears can reach heights of more than 10 feet, and it's reasonable to assume that polar bears are among the largest bear species, weighing an average of 1,000 pounds. Events and reasons. Fortunately, polar bears are infrequently encountered by people, largely because they must endure harsh weather to survive. Yet more polar bears are migrating south in search of food, which frequently results in interactions with people. Unfortunately, because polar bears are top predators, many of these occurrences result in fatalities for people. But how frequently do polar bear attacks occur? The Wildlife Society Bulletin reports that polar bear attacks between 1879 and 2014 totaled 73 incidents. The fact that more than 20 of these polar bears were involved in at least 15 attacks between 2010 and 2014, which is a record number for a 4-year period. Number 1. American black bears. Because of their distinctive black fur, black bears are another small but ferocious species of bear. Black bears can weigh anything between 120 and 500 pounds, depending on where they dwell. Speaking of habitat, it's important to remember that black bears can only be found in North America and that there are considered to be about 800,000 of them in total. Black bears may appear hostile, although they are not as deadly as some other kinds. In fact, rather than attacking or charging potential threats, they are more likely to attempt to climb a neighboring tree. Events and reasons. Attacks by black bears are quite uncommon and typically end up being comparable to encounters with dogs. Black bear attacks that result in death often happen once a year in North America. Further investigation reveals that there were 63 fatal black bear attacks on people in America between 1900 and 2009. Additionally, most black bear attacks occur in their most northern areas, according to Smithsonian Magazine. According to experts, this occurrence is caused by the bears being stressed due to the lack of food, making them more violent. Additionally, unlike their relatives in the south, northern bears are not accustomed to humans, which may make them more difficult to interact with. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Stay tuned.